Alrighty guys, we're back for some mono green aggro, and this is a Brothers War standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? We got 4 Ascendant Packleaders, just a terrific little 1-drop. It can eventually get counters, which is going to be important in this deck. We have a couple Audacities. It's a new aura. 1 mana aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. Nice. When Audacity is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. This seems like a pretty powerful aura, guys. I'm excited to try this out in some other builds as well. And I'm also excited to see if it's actually going to be good in here. We have 4 Bushwhacks. This is another new card. 1 mana sorcery speed. Choose one. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Or target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Having these abilities on one card seems pretty good. For 1 mana, I like it. Imagine this, right? You have an opening hand with 1 or 2 forests. That's okay, you have Bushwhack in there too. Now it's keepable. I don't know, it seems solid. Got a couple tail swipes, just more ways to fight the opponent's creatures. It's probably going to come in handy. We have 4 Llanowar Loamspeakers for some ramp, but don't underestimate that bottom ability where you get to target a land and have it become a 3/3 elemental creature. Yeah, we've closed games with that, so Loamspeaker's a powerhouse. We got 2 Outland Liberators, 2 mana 2/2. You can pay 1, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. There are plenty of artifacts and enchantments to choose from in Standard. You're probably always going to have a target for this, but then when it becomes Frenzied Trapbreaker, it can just absolutely gobble up certain decks. Whenever Frenzied Trapbreaker attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Pretty solid card, probably going to be worth 2 of them in here. Got 4 Simian Simulacrums. This is a 3 mana 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It also has Unearth for 2 and double green. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exile it at the beginning of the next end step, or if it would leave the battlefield, unearth only as a sorcery. The last time we played with this, it was very powerful. I expect it to do a lot in here. We have 3 Gwennas, and this is a 3 mana 2/3. You can tap it to add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creature or creature cards. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Gwenna and untap it. Okay. Gwenna seems pretty powerful. I like this one a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how often that bottom ability comes into play, but mainly it's in here just for extra ramp. And yeah, we'll see. We got 3 Kodama of the West Trees, a 3 mana 3/3 with reach. Modified creatures you control have trample. Okay. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So a way to filter out our lands from our deck so that way we actually just draw the good stuff. Sounds pretty important to me, but more importantly, giving trample to modified creatures is pretty huge because we have Clay Champion in here. This is a 4 mana, and you can also pay an X cost up there too. It's a 2/2. Clay Champion enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each double green spent to cast it. When Clay Champion enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 other target creatures you control. For each double white spent to cast Clay Champion, put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. This card's pretty insane. The only thing it's missing are some keyword abilities, honestly, right? It's missing trample. Well, Kodama solves that for us, huh? Because it comes in already modified, which is just pretty insane. And then as far as like the double white ability goes, I don't know how often we do this, but Loamspeaker and Gwenna can help us cast the double white casting cost in this. So we'll see how often that actually comes into play though. We got 4 Rootwire Amalgams, a 5 mana 5/5 with 3 and double green. Sacrifice Rootwire Amalgam. Create an XX colorless golem artifact creature token where X is 3 times Rootwire Amalgam's power. It gains haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. Now, the good part about this is it has prototype for 1 and a green, so probably going to cast it as a 2-drop quite often. When you do, it's a 2/3. Pretty solid card, guys. It looks really good overall. More importantly, I want to get that golem out there. I want a big old chunky golem, and I want to drop Audacity on it and give it trample, right? Or we could really work for it and give it counters from the Simian Simulacrum, right? And then give it trample with a Kodama. That also works. Either way, I want a big old trample golem going on. So we'll see if we can pull that off today. On the very top end, we have a single Avabruck Caretaker. Only 6 mana, guys. I'm surprised we never see Caretaker because I think this card is stacked. This is one heck of a boss monster. So for 6 mana, it's a 4/4 hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. So that's another way to modify our creatures as well, right? That has daybound and nightbound. So when it's nighttime, it's the Huntmaster. It's a hexproof 6/6. Other permanents you control have hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Just a pretty sick card. It kind of like, it feels like it should be 7 mana, and that's why people don't play with it. But it's just 6 mana instead, and maybe it's just looking for the right home. I'm not really sure. So we only have 23 mana in here, and one of them is a Who Endures. So why only 23? Bushwhack. That's why. I'm kind of treating that as extra mana if we need it, right? Also, Kodama can help us, and then we have Ramp with Loamspeaker and Gwenna too, so 23 land makes sense. Honestly, we might talk about bumping it down to 22 if we flood out at all today, so a couple honorable mentions. It's just more land. Sanctum of Nature might be pretty cool to have in here as a utility land. I didn't want it to slow us down at all, even though we do have some legendary green creatures in here with Kodama and Gwenna. But yeah, I didn't want to be slowed down at all. Mishra's Foundry. I didn't want to get in the way of the Clay Champion at all. I always want to spend the 4 green. I want this to enter as an 8/8 4-drop every single time. I don't want the Foundry to get in the way of that. Okay, guys, hopefully I went over the deck well enough. Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. Alright, we'll see if we can get right into that first match here. Heck yeah, we do. Alright, opponent, what you bringing to the table? I'm pretty excited every time we get into another match. There's always a chance that we see something completely new. Good hand. Wow, yeah. This is an excellent hand. Deserted Beach, that could be a lot of different things right now. Whoa. Battlefield Forge. Okay, well, I guess we'll start with a swing. I don't want the Loamspeaker to get countered necessarily, so let's go Bushwhack and find that forest. And if they make disappear a Bushwhack, like, that's fine, you know? Okay, we have the forest ready for next turn, and the Packleader might eat a counter. Nope, it hits the board, so maybe just simple removal. A Faithful Mending. Okay. I still don't know what we're up against. Oh no. Oh no, not this nonsense, guys. Please, no. Opponent, Do you already have the Invoke Despair in hand? That's the question. That's the question, guys. Well, what's the most aggressive route possible? Gwenna's probably too slow then, right? I guess making sure we attack every turn's more important instead of setting up. Because if we set up this turn, they probably take 6 because they want to ramp, right? Yeah, if we set up with Gwenna to try to do more on the following turns, we're falling behind a little bit. So all they need... Also, if we try to set up with Gwenna, they could just drop like a Plains and then swing in and then drop the Invoke Despair to bring the portal. Dude, that's too fast. Luckily, they didn't have it there, but like that's way too fast. They can recast the Faithful Mending. We're gonna take the 2. I know we can unearth this potentially, but also it being on the board is pretty important probably. Tail Swipe. How do we want to do this? I think it's just damage, right? I think it's damage every single turn. Let's go on the other Simulacrum this time instead of the Packleader. It's 10 damage. So I mean, nice. They're gonna take the damage. They're gaining a bunch of life here. I can only imagine. I can only imagine the portal is coming back here. I'm scared, guys. Oh, they don't have 4 white pips, though. Oh, they have the Goblin Shaman to swing. Maybe they're missing the Invoke Despair? Did we get lucky? The forest is good news here. I'm gonna attempt the Loamspeaker and see what they do, because they have the 3 mana open. It's probably mending, but... You know what? If I would have started with Tail Swipe, because now this could be a Make Disappear. Yeah, that might be a problem. A Make Disappear might be a problem. No, it wasn't. It must be the Faithful Mending. I'd rather them block the 5/2 because we can bring that back from the grave. That's not enough, opponent. GG, they needed something other than the Faithful Mending there. Yeah, GG, opponent. Well, they didn't find it, which I guess is good news for us, but at any moment they could have found it. Wow, they had the Kami War in there too. They had one with the multiverse in here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this had to have been an Invoke. Did I say Invoke Despair earlier? I meant Invoke Justice if I said Despair. Invoke Despair is always on the mind, I suppose, but yeah. It had to have been an Invoke Justice deck, right? Yeah, this looks like a pretty solid hand overall. We have a 2-drop, we have a 3-drop, we have the Bushwhack to help us out a little bit. Uh-oh, opponent had to mulligan. Down to 6 they go. We're gonna keep the Bushwhack. We don't need the forest right now, and we might need to fight a creature. Xander's Lounge, uh-oh. Some scary Grixis, probably. Yeah, another Xander's Lounge, and it switches to nighttime, which is pretty sick. Probably go Gwenna here. Start with the swing. Gwenna hits. Is it a cut down? It's not a cut down. That's huge for us, because it could have just been a cut down there. Now, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is not the best thing to play here because Frenzied Trap Breaker just gobbles it up. so removal on Trapbreaker could be okay. Gonna drop the Abrade on the Gwenna to stop that little bit of ramp, which is pretty smart, honestly. That's probably the play. At this point, we're gonna go ahead, Bushwhack, grab a forest, prepare us for that Clay Champion next turn. Let's get that swing and drop the Kodama. Oh, you know what? I sent it back to daytime. That's okay, though. It was worth playing 2 cards there. Because we didn't necessarily need the Frenzy Trapbreaker. It was nice while it lasted, I suppose. If we didn't want to do that, we didn't need to play a forest this turn. Because we might draw one next turn, too. So we could have kept it at nighttime and just played our Kodama. That would have been fine. Corpse Appraiser. Alright, opponent, prepare your spot removal, buddy. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need your spot removal. Wonder if they trade here. You know what? I like this draw. I like that draw a lot. I'm gonna do this instead of the Clay Champion. That's pretty good. See if they trade with Kodama. They probably do, though. Let's not. Let's not, because this lets us grab a forest, which is pretty good. Does enter tapped. Yeah, overall, being able to just grab more forests out of the deck, that way we can just consistently see more creatures and stuff to play, is the best bet, I would say. It looks like some basic Grixis so far, which is just a very scary deck to go up against. Always difficult for me to know exactly what to do, right? Like, should we have swung with Kodama? I don't think so. I think their Corpse Appraiser is expendable as a blocker. And so keeping Kodama and then eating up one of their removals from their hand for the Kodama is just better than a trade with the Appraiser. Especially when we plan on getting bigger creatures on the board anyways. They go for the Throat the Liberator. Okay. They still have 2 mana open, so yeah, Blood Tithe Harvester. There we go, guys. There's the forest. Get that Avabruck Caretaker down. No spot removal for the Caretaker, huh? Let's go ahead. They would have to double block Kodama if we drop it on Kodama, and a double block into that sounds insane. That sounds so good for us. 2 cards for 1. They go for it. I mean, the only thing I can think of now is if they have a board wipe. Because like an Invoke Despair, okay, Sheoldred, yeah, the Death Touch on that works well. 1 mana open here could be a cut down for the Simian Simulacrum. Another Xander Lounge. They got all 4 Xander Lounge. Nice indeed. Tail Swipe, huh? Tail Swipe. Well, we could sacrifice our Clay Champion to take out the Sheoldred. It sucks a little bit. X is 0. Confirm. It sucks a little bit, but taking out Sheoldred and getting a swing at their face for 8 is pretty insane. We paid no white mana, so that doesn't really matter. We could also go... No, yeah, it's better to get the swing this turn. It's better to sacrifice the Clay Champion. Is it 2 cards for 1? Yes. But is it a huge swing for us? Very much so. Because here's what this does, right? We get them down to 2. if they wipe our board, we bring back the Simulacrum from the grave with Unearth and swing for that victory. So they need something terrific here. A little bit greedy, but yeah, they need something really good. They might find something good here, honestly. They might find something. Just another blocker would be huge for them. Ooh, okay. Well, Unearth, guys. Unearth it is. Pretty cool stuff, man. Bring it on back. Plug those counters on. Yep, GG opponent. Well, that was cool, guys. The deck did a lot there, didn't it? I feel like for a Grixis build, they didn't see too much. Like, don't get me wrong, they played some seriously powerful cards, but, you know, they didn't see an Invoke Despair this time round, or they didn't play it, I guess, but either way, pretty cool. Our deck did a thing, and Caretaker, yeah. Like I said, Caretaker's a boss monster, very hard to deal with. In a deck like that relies heavily on spot removal, the hexproof is just very hard to deal with, and I guess they needed some form of board wipe at that point. Alright, opponent, what are you bringing to the table? Is this going to be a mirror match? Maybe. Mono red? Oh! Did they just mulligan down to 5? Opponent? Are you okay, opponent? Are you okay, buddy? Don't go down to 5. That's scary. Oh, they went down to 5. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be some mono red. Oh, Swift Spear. Okay, well then. Let's go Loamspeaker. A little bit of ramp early on. We could have gone Rootwire, but we might play that as a 5-drop, which is actually pretty big against mono red. Oh. Ancestral Anger. Oh, it's not mono red. Yeah, no, all this makes a lot of sense. They go for the Consider. This makes a lot of sense, guys. They might actually be able to do this after going down to 5. I don't think there's a lot of questions here. We're going to want to take out the Swift Spear while they don't have protection for it. And I suppose we'll go and buff the Loam. Now, I'll buff this. A 4-3 is pretty solid still. GG opponent, wow, they go for conceding there. 5 cards in hand. I mean, they had to mulligan down to 5. They lost their creature. They might not have had any other creatures. Next turn, we had the Who Endures, and if they didn't hit the Loamspeaker, we could drop the Amalgam as a 5-mana 5/5 with that ability ready to go on the turn after. Pretty cool, man. I like the lines of play in this, and it sure seems like those fight spells are going to be way too important, so in the final thoughts, we may have to talk about, yeah, adding more of them, but we'll see. Like 6 of them should be enough. 4 Bushwhacks and a couple tail swipes. I mean, it's probably enough, but it really depends what your meta looks like too. This is a bit of a slower hand overall, but there's so much we can draw into. Like a forest is fine too, for now. As long as we don't get a forest like 5 turns in a row, right? Is this gonna be more Grixis? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. This is unacceptable behavior. There is too much Grixis floating about right now. So Gwenna might not be the best choice here then. What do you guys think? Fable of the Mirrorbreaker? No? Looking to take out the Liberator with their Harvester. That is an acceptable trade. Pass it to nighttime. And we're gonna go... See, we could thin out the deck with Kodama if we go the Simulacrum this turn. I'm gonna go Gwenna. A cut down on Gwenna would really suck, but at the same time... Oh, they go for the Make Disappear. We know Grixis runs Make Disappear, so it maybe would have been smart to try to play around that. Oh, nice! The Puppeteer! Let's go, buddy. Okay. So whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. When Puppeteer dies, return another target creature card with mana value 3 or less. Man, that seems strong, doesn't it? Alright, let's go Kodama. Number 1. We'll get the Kodama on the board, ready to go, ready to swing, so that way, well, yeah, this doesn't have, like, this isn't shielded, it doesn't have Death Touch or anything, so getting Kodama above that 4 power can be huge. They might have a problem here, guys. We might have a problem. There might be a better order to play things out in, too. Because if we would have went... Okay, go for the throat on the Kodama. Swing for 4. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Grixis is getting their revenge here, for sure. Again, is there going to be a better way? See, the goal was to put the counters on Kodama, and then swing with Kodama to thin out the deck, and then hope that we draw some of our bigger cards. Loamspeaker's a pretty good draw, because being able to use all of our mana is pretty important, especially when they might just find more removal here. Pretty cool, man. I like the Puppeteer. I really like the Puppeteer. See, if we block it, they get their Blood Tithe Harvester back. This has Menace, too. Let's take the 7, guys. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, but I'm curious to see what we draw. Fable, nice. I was gonna say, they might only have land in hand, too, and maybe we'll be able to make a comeback, but... Okay. So this still blocks well. Like, overall, we're okay, depending on what's in their hand, and the Loamspeaker's pretty good, too. So let's keep Kodama back, so that way... Well... This blocks that. We might need the Menace here, because they can use that second ability. Dang, I guess we hold it all back. Get this other Loamspeaker down. Alright, let's see what happens. Because we could have made Kodama a 5/5 too, but then we lose that ability. Like, the second they drop spot removal on our 5/5, then we're stuck with 2 1/3 Loamspeakers and a 2/1. By spreading this out, making the Loamspeaker a 3/5, now, like, we have more solid blocks. Invoke Despair. That does it, doesn't it? Good game, opponent. Oh my. They did a lot of damage very fast, and that Puppeteer looks pretty good, guys. Is it better than Shieldred? Probably not. Probably not, but it's something to keep your eye on. It's a little bit more splashable than Shieldred is, right? Shieldred is 2 and double black. This is 3 and 1 black. And Shieldred doesn't have that bottom ability, too. I don't know. Cool card, though. Yeah. Good hand. Wow, yeah, I really like the hands that this deck has been turning out. I think a big part of it is the prototype creatures being able to be... Oh... Llanowar Loamspeaker. Start with a swing. Doesn't look like a cut down to me. We have Kodama ready for next turn. Okay. Underdog. Take out the, use the Loamspeaker to take out the underdog here, right? Because Kodama becomes a 4/4. and then we can swing for 2. I think that's worth it for a swing. And then if they have to bring back Underdog later on, they're going to have to take damage, which could be very, very bad. Trespasser's a pain in the butt, though. If yeah, we have our Amalgam ready. Gonna do it before combat because it does affect combat with the pack leader. And now we full swing. If they block Kodama, the pack leader gets through. And that's a worthwhile trade for us, guys. Get another forest out of the deck. We're thinning it out. Getting ready. Can I get a 15-15 golem on the board? Not in a deck that runs a lot of spot removal, probably. Gonna take out the Loamspeaker. It's a good idea because... Oh... I guess pack leader. I guess. Ooh. Simian Simulacrum's a great draw. Can activate this ability. Oh, it gains haste. It gains haste, guys. Sweet. Good game. I almost forgot about the haste there for a second because, like, honestly, it's a little bit too good sometimes, right? They must not have had any spot removal for it. Or maybe they forgot it had haste too, because yeah. Alright, yeah, this is a solid hand. Turn 1 pack leader. We're going first here, which is huge. Bushwhack at the ready, huh? Get that Loamspeaker down. The Simian Simulacrum is ready next turn, as well as a Bushwhack if we need it, and a Tail Swipe if we need it. Honestly, guys, I'm not running face first into a Make Disappear. It's probably going to be better to power up a land and see it if they end up having anything. Really, nothing. Grab land with Bushwhack? It thins out the deck, and it might be the style of build here. Oh, it was a negate, probably. Or a spell pierce. Wait. Oh, what am I saying? Yeah, we were playing around a Make Disappear. A little bit surprising that they drop a Make Disappear on Bushwhack. Tail Swipe on our turn's better. Another Loamspeaker. How do I want to play this out, guys? Let's give it to you. Let's go... I guess we better take that out. I guess we better take that out and then swing for 6, because... Yeah. Like, they need a board wipe now, and if they do, we still have the Simian Simulacrum's Unearth ability as well, which is just insane. Versing control and stuff, yeah. GG, opponent. GG, buddy. Oh, man. I definitely overplayed this deck, guys. I'm gonna have to pick and choose which games to show you, and I don't know which ones are gonna be the best ones. Oh, no. Opponent goes first here, huh? This is a good hand. I'm a little concerned. We only have 2 mana, but we have 4 Bushwhacks in the deck, which could help us out. Loamspeaker helps us ramp, too, so... Also, turn 1 pack leader is very nice. That is a pretty plains. That is pretty artwork. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Soldiers is definitely scary. Let's swing. They don't trade. They take the 2. Yeah. Let's get that Loamspeaker. They might not have a Brutal Cathar. But if they do, they would want to hit Loamspeaker to stop the ramp. They're looking at it. They're like, is this worth taking out? Yep, it sure is worth taking out, opponent, because we do not have that third mana. And we did not draw it either. Yeah, Brutal Cathar's rough, man. At least we can drop the Rootwire Amalgam. No swings, because we could have swung into that, but they probably wouldn't have fallen for it. They probably would have just blocked. Yeah, I don't think they would have fallen for that. There's not too many green combat tricks that see any play, so... Buffing a great board state here, but if they swing with that Cathar, we're double blocking, 100%. Like, it's okay to lose both of these as long as we can actually play a 3-drop next turn without drawing a forest, you know? Yeah, some mono white soldiers, they actually choose not to swing. More ramp is good. Bigger creatures is also good. Let's go ramp, because they need another Brutal Cathar to take out Gwenna. So no attacks. Yeah, they didn't want to lose the veteran either. I completely understand the no swings. We had great blocks overall. I probably would have been too greedy with the swings, honestly. But it really depends. They're looking at that adversary like, I got 2 of them, but hopefully not. Mishra's Foundry, nice, nice. 5 mana over there, guys. Oh, a second Valiant Veteran and a Siege Veteran. Woo, buddy. This is gonna be an uphill battle if I've ever seen one. Play champion, though. Man. Man, how do we do this, man? Oh, jeez. And they buffed the adversary. Oh, they're swinging. I mean, veteran number 1, right? Take 10? That's pretty bad, though. Adversary does the same thing, kinda, sorta. And then they have the 5 mana for this to buff everything. Problem is, this isn't a soldier. Like, we're really in a sticky situation. Take 9. Down to 9. Yeah. Yeah, you know what we're gonna need to find, too? We're gonna need to find some removal here, too. More mana. See, we go Pack Leader, we could get an extra buff on it first, but we can also go double white on Gwenna. Buff Gwenna too. And then Gwenna untaps. I don't think the double white will be worth it. I think just 4 green's fine. Get Pack Leader down to buff the Pack Leader too. Getting Pack Leader to a 3/2 is just better. Could actually still buff them. I want Gwenna to untap though. So we're gonna go green, green, unfortunately, right? And then X is 0, confirm. And then this untaps Gwenna. We can target. It doesn't untap Gwenna? Wait, am I crazy? Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater. Oh, it's a 2/2, guys. When it enters, though, it comes out with counters. Oopsie daisies. Magic the Gathering is tough sometimes. Yeah, they knocked it out of the park, though, with these creatures anyways. They knocked it out of the park, man. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Yeah, full swing. No questions asked, dude. That's 11 damage coming through no matter what. Good game. Would have been 9 damage coming through no matter what, right? No, they double buffed the Intrepid Adversary. Almost perfect draws for the opponent to get that damage through there. We might have had a chance. Alright, we go first here. That's good news. This is keepable. I like this. No turn 1. That's fine, dude. Got a couple Loamspeakers here. Sleeper. Okay, Kodama's a good draw. I think we just go right into Clay Champion. The Sleeper's a problem because of the Death Touch, but that's okay. A second Clay Champion, I say that confirms that I want to go Clay Champion here. Nice. We have Audacity to give it Trample, and then also Kodama as well, but I'm pretty sure it just bites the dust here. Although Go for the Throat doesn't hit it, so they would have to have the old-fashioned Infernal Grasp. No blocks because Death Touch definitely hits it. They go for buffing the Sleeper here. All the way? Really? Oh, this Trample is going to be super juicy. Alright. We can power up a land and see if they trade with the underdog too. I probably will do that, since we're going to get another land off of Kodama here. Like, a trade is completely fine. Because, yeah, we'll just get another forest. They're taking 8. Woo, buddy. That's pretty fun. Yeah, the Death Touch is a problem, but I'm not too worried. We have another Clay Champion, too. The big threats that Mono Black has... More Death Touch. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. If we just stick it... like an Audacity onto... Kodama would be good, too. Because then Kodama... well... I probably don't want to swing with Kodama. Let's go all into Clay Champion and see what we draw here. Let's see what we draw. Like, they're at 10, guys. Like, this is so much damage. They're down to 5. Okay. Rootwire Amalgam. See, that's pretty good. But in reality, we know what we're playing. We know what we're playing, guys. Get that other Clay Champion down and ready. Wait, when they blocked with Sleeper, it was a 3-3, right? Alright, we're gonna ditch the Loamspeaker here. And that might be game? Oh no, they gain life off of the Invoke Despair. Uh-oh. This is a problem, guys. This is a problem. We have 11 damage on the board, and if they block the Kodama, then they probably just win the game. Because like a second Invoke Despair would just completely crush us. And swinging with just the Clay Champion, they just take the 8. I guess that's better than them just blocking Kodama. And then if they do end up blocking with Sheoldred, then that's actually pretty good for us. They'll take 3 from the trample. Okay, Sheoldred's out of here. Okay. Yeah, Sheoldred was one of the reasons why I was sweating. At this point, hopefully, Rootwire Amalgam can get us there, but with 5 mana, Mono Black, 6 mana, could be another Invoke. Liliana. They need to take out... Alright, I'm going to sacrifice Kodama because Go for the Throat is definitely a card that they play. They drop Gix on the board. Bushwhack. No way. No way. What a draw. Oh my goodness, guys. What a draw. You fight you, and we still have 5 mana open. Are you guys ready to take out Mono Black once again? Woo! Buddy, good game. I was sweating there for a little bit. It feels good to take out just a top tier deck like that. Feels really good. Oh my goodness. Guys, I overdid it. I played way too many games. I think that was game like number 12 or something. I'm way too far in the video. I'm going to pick and choose my favorite matches. Don't worry, they're not just going to be victories. This was way too much fun, guys. Oh my goodness. The Rootwire Amalgam is really, really good. That golem can be insane. Clay Champion was really cool too. Something that I didn't know, and something that I didn't know, or sorry, that I didn't go over at the beginning, is apparently when you drop the Clay Champion and it gets those counters, it doesn't activate Gwenna's bottom ability, which makes sense now that I'm looking at it, right? Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, when you're casting this, it's a 2/2. And then when it enters the battlefield, it gets the counters. So yeah, that makes sense. So just be careful with that. You're not going to untap Gwenna, but I still think Gwenna's worth having in here for the ramp. But I do think there's too many of them. I would drop it down to 2 and you'll be fine. What would I add? Probably another tail swipe, as ridiculous as that sounds, but it really does come down to what you're seeing in your meta, because as far as I can tell, everyone sees something different. So or for the most part at least. Another thing you could do is maybe go up another Caretaker, because there were moments where we wanted to see our big old chunky boss monster and we just weren't seeing it, so it'd be cool to maybe have another one of those as well. Other than that, yeah, Clay Champion was worth just having in here because of how chunky it actually was. Simian Simulacrum might be the best card in here, because there were so many moments where we could just unearth it and then win. So yeah, watch out for this card, guys. The unearth ability is actually just unreal. Being able to plug those counters into whatever the heck you want is insane. Audacity was it was okay. It was all right. I was gonna say all right and okay at the same time somehow. I think my brain is tired, guys. I should probably get going. See, like I said, I overplayed the deck. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what matches I'm gonna pick and choose for you guys. Either way, very, very fun deck. The most fun I've had so far with the Brothers War, and that really says something because I've been having a ball playing with all the new cards. So yeah, very, very fun deck, very solid, powerful as well, so that is sick. Oh, the 23 lands totally worked as well. We didn't need to see any more lands, so that's good news at least too. Oh, Bushwhack was incredible. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of power in this deck. Everything came in handy. Outland Liberator was pretty cool as well. Loamspeaker was amazing. Oh man, yeah, hey, enough rambling, huh? If you guys made it this far into the video, then y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.